Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to Yoga with Lynn and Leo.
And welcome to lesson 4 of our complete beginner series.
Yes, so today it is forward extending. So forward extension means that you will need a chair. If you have got a dining chair or a kitchen chair, that's fine. We've got a yoga chair here. And I'm sitting on a blanket. So you might need to have a couple of foam pads or a couple of blankets. You might need a little more height than this.
Yeah, so we're trying to keep the props to a minimum. And some of you may not need the props, but it's worth practicing with them because it gives really good symmetry and you start to feel more in your body when there's more accuracy and alignment.
Absolutely. So we'll get started.
Right, so we come for Adho, mukha, svanasana.
Which is dog pose.
Oh yeah.
Dog head down.
Right. So starting on your mat in this kneeling position. So if you've been following our series, then you will recognise this position. Here we have to see that the whole of the front body is supporting the spine. So we have to see that there's a length in the tailbone and that there's strength in the arms. This is really key because the arms become tremendous levers and they become stronger and stronger as you practice yoga. Tuck your toes under and then lift up through the centre of the body and pull up the kneecaps and the thighs. So in this position, quite often in the very beginning, we sort of hold on for dear life to those arms and we start to press in very strongly, but you've got to remember with this action that it's the wrists that ground down into the palm and everything above the elbow you lift up. Then we have to see that there is a broadness and space in the collarbone, so the arms rotate from the inside out. So if you're not quite sure of this, then it's this action. So this may not be in your practice today, but we have to work at this action gradually over time. And then softening your knees and coming back into a kneeling position and then resting the buttocks back onto the heels for Adho Mukha Virabhadrasana. And just releasing in this pose and releasing rather than relaxing, just recover for a moment or two. So our next pose is going to be a forward bend. So we're going to come into a standing position. We're going to use the chair for this action. This is called Prasarita Paddottasana, so it's extended forward bend. So we're going to take the legs quite wide. It's good to line up the outer edges of the feet with the back of the foot to the outer edge of the mat so that you get an evenness with the feet. Because quite often we'll put our feet down and they might go one forward, one back, as you can see here. All right. It's very important that we ground down into the legs. So see that you pull up the kneecaps and the thighs, but you see that you're grounding down into the outer foot bones very strongly. Put your hands onto your hips and roll your shoulders back and down and come forward with a concave spine. So come forward with an open chest as you extend. Now you want to keep this action all the way through your forward bending action and reach to the chair. So reach to the seat of the chair and even try to take the wrists onto the top of the chair. So see if you can reach in this way, and this will give you even more of a fulcrum to lengthen the spine. So these are really good ways to practice to understand that frontal body extension. So once you've practiced this position, you can see if you can go a little bit lower. So take the hands onto the seat of the chair. You may be able to take the hands eventually down the legs and eventually down onto the floor. So make sure that your chair is secure and on your mat. And then coming back up. So the key about this pose in the very beginning is to work the legs really strongly and then coming up into a standing position and bring the legs together. And be in Paddottasana. So Paddottasana is mountain pose. Just recover in this position. Pull up the legs again, make sure those legs are together, the feet are together, and see that the weight is moving back into the rim of the heel so you can stamp down with the foot. Pull up through the kneecaps, through the front thighs, lift out of the pelvis, lift the sternum, chest, and roll your shoulders back and down. Keep the facial features really soft and smooth, and breathe. So our next pose is Virabhadrasana I. So this is when we come into an angle with the leg. We're still going to come into the lateral action. So starting your mat, having your feet together, and then placing your thumbs towards the upper chest region and lift up. Just be there for a few moments, just prepare for the pose. And now softening your knees and jump those legs wide apart. That's it. Now again, ground down into the feet, into the outer foot bone, and pull up through the kneecaps, through the thighs, through the centre of the body. Now keep all of that lift as you turn your left foot in, your right foot out. Lift up through the centre again, ground down into your back leg. Now this pose is all about keeping that meridian line through the centre of the body. So see that you keep the back arm moving back as you bend that front leg. Bend it into a square. Come into the square. It's almost as if somebody's pulling this arm back, this back arm back, so that you keep more level. Then finally turning the head to face your right fingers all the way along the arm. Soft inhale and soft exhale. Then ground strongly into the feet as you take a breath in and come up. Turn the feet to face forward, and we come to the other side. If you can manage to keep the arms up, do so. Turn your right foot in. This is already good discipline for the arms. It keeps us strength in the body. Now go and lift up through the centre of the body and bend your front leg. Bend the front leg. Keep the grounded action in your back leg strongly. Now again, as you've got this angle, see that you lift up through the centre. Be sure that the lower abdomen is lifting up away from those legs. Lift your chest and reach into those fingers. And then finally turning the head towards the fingers. And breathe. Soft inhale, soft exhale. And then taking a breath in and coming up, turning the feet to face forward. And then bringing those legs together. And stand in Paddottasana. So again, coming to recover. So when we practice the asana, we come back into Paddottasana and we're just digesting all of that wonderful opening. Take the weight right back into the heels, lift up through the centre of the body. Soft inhale, soft exhale. Okay, so our next pose is Parsvottanasana. We're going to use a chair for this pose. So we're not going to be jumping into this action, although in the classic way you would jump into this action laterally and then turn the feet, but we're going to start facing the chair. So this is a forward bending action, so we're going to turn the left foot slightly out and then step the front leg forward. Now remember what we were saying in the lateral poses about the back leg. So this is the back leg in this pose. We've got to push into the back leg so strongly, push into the outer foot, push into the heel. So all the strength is moving back. Turn the hips to face forward. Lift through the centre of the body, and through that lift start to hinge at the hips, hinge at the hips. And then a little bit how we were practicing the previous forward bend, taking the hands firstly to the chair so you can get your distance, and then onto the top of the chair. So with this pose, what we're trying to achieve is this moving back of the outer hip, but this levelness in the pelvis. So more than seeing that you're moving the creases of the thighs right at the top of the root of the thigh here, creases of the thighs lengthen, and then you move the dorsal spine in. So keeping that nice extension and nice length, pushing into the back leg. And then taking a breath in and coming up. So I'm going to just move Leo's chair for her so she can turn around. Oh, you can just change your legs, that's fine. You don't need to move the chair. Alright, so we're going to take now the left leg forward. So remembering that the chair is so beneficial, even for those of you who are quite flexible. It kind of helps you to work with more symmetry, and you sense that extension. So push into the back leg strongly, turning the hips, the pelvis, lift all the way up through the center of the body, roll your shoulders back and down, and then hinging forward, hinging forward. Then reaching your hands onto the chair firstly, and then to the top of the chair, just to get your balance, and reaching back. So this helps you to get such a tremendous length in your spine. Pushing back with your back leg, go and see that you're getting that length and breadth and broadness. This is a very long extension in the spine, so do become aware of your breath, your inhalation and your exhalation as you are extending with this beautiful vertical action. Keep those legs really strong and grounding down. Then to come up, push into your back leg and slowly coming up, turning the feet. You don't need to turn the feet, you just can step the leg forward and then standing into asana. Roll your shoulders back and down and just recover for a few moments. Okay, so we're going to come down to floor level now. We're coming in for a pose called Marichayasana I. So we're going to use the chair and a blanket. So it may be that you need to go a little bit higher than this blanket, particularly if you've got very tight lower back or tight hamstrings. So when we practice with the supports, it's really very beneficial. You can see here Leo's moving the buttock flesh away from the buttock bone. If you've been following our videos, you'll know that this is quite a regular practice. What we're trying to do is to get so much length in the back of the thighs, so much length, and then seeing that we are lifting through the centre of the body. So with this preparation, you have to extend into your heels as if you are extending into a wall, getting that breadth and broadness across the balls of the feet. So we have to see that every part of our body is working very strongly to support the spine. Round down with your thighs and lift up through the centre of the spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. We're going to start with the left leg, so bend your left leg. Hold on to the shin. You can see that you take the heel as close to its own buttock as possible, but be realistic about it. If it's difficult, if there's a bit of stiffness in the thighs, the front of the thighs, then have the foot a little bit away from the body. So pull on that shin to lift up a little bit more and roll your shoulders back and down. Extend your left arm up, hook it in front of your thigh and use the outer arm and the inner thigh together to press to get that little bit more traction to turn. So you're using that as a fulcrum. You've got the chair behind you, so put your hand onto the chair. So you can walk your hand a little bit further around the chair as far as you can and rotate the shoulder. As you do, be sure that the straight leg is really working very strongly, the thigh is grounding down and there's an extension through to the heel. And breathe, of course. So having the chair there will give you a little bit more of a fulcrum to open the shoulder and connect with that upper body. And then releasing. Back to Paddottasana. Sitting up nicely, roll your shoulders back and down. And then bending your right leg. Holding onto the shin. So you may have heard that noise outside. We are on the ambulance run here. So any of you tuning in who are new to the station, then the hospital is not far from us and we have ambulances going outside quite a lot of the time. So try not to let that distract you from your practice. Lifting up out of the pelvis, keeping the straight legs strong and straight, and reaching up with your right arm extending, reaching up into the palm. Then hook the arm in front of the thigh and take that left arm back. So you can see here that it's quite a fulcrum to work with, quite a strong action. If you've got long arms, then it becomes quite a challenging action. If you've got short arms like mine, then it's very, very useful and very, very helpful. So go and see that you use the upper arm and the inner thigh as a fulcrum, and just take a couple of breaths to extend and lift and open and broaden across that chest. And then release in. Okay, straighten the legs. So we're just going to come into our Shavasana, it's a chair Shavasana action. So this is quite a nice way of working. Just going to take the legs up onto the chair. And then lying back. So it's this simple. And just letting the abdomen completely release and rest. So when we come into these restful positions, we scan the body from the top all the way through to the bottom. So be sure that when you're in this position, you are softening around the facial features and releasing around the mouth, the back teeth, the jawline, release around the throat. Just let the arms rotate so the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Softening the abdomen and just be in your own space. So we're going to leave you in this position for a little bit longer. We hope you enjoyed our video and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.